So today we're talking about mind, body, and spirit, and we're going to touch on each one of those with a gentle mini detox. So we're going to talk first about the body and how can one just do a small detox using your foods and certain things that you might be eating every day that might be causing you to have, say, heavy metals stored in the body. And of course, we've got the environment, which brings in a lot of environmental toxins. So how can we just do something small that's easy and it doesn't take a lot of time? So I'm going to first start with the body. So with the body, we can start to juice vegetables. So if you're going to make a juice for yourself or a smoothie, try to have more vegetables in there and not too many fruits, because of course we've got the sugar and the fructose with the fruits. So try and have one fruit but perhaps 3 vegetables, and make sure that you have something green in there. Now that's a really good way to give your body a rest from eating. And when you have a juice, which is perhaps you could incorporate that as one of your meals or in between your meals, gives your body a rest, gives your organs a rest, and what's going through is nutritious. And some of that green vegetables that are really high in minerals and vitamins are going to help to put back in your body if you are depleted in anything, and also help to carry out some of those toxins. So that's number one.
Is there a specific, just before we continue there, is there a specific green that you would
Yes.
advise?
I would say that the sea grasses or the algae, the sea grasses like wheatgrass, spirulina, and there's one called chlorella.
Coriander?
And coriander, yes, but not so much in a powder form. Coriander would be something that you would have on your salads, or you could put it in your food. Coriander is also a great detoxifier because it carries some of the heavy metals out of the body. So yes, very good.
Yep.
And something else that we can use in our food is the nori roll, which we get when we eat, sushi. So why do you think the Japanese always have the nori, which is the seaweed, with fish? The reason for that is that the nori helps to detoxify any heavy metals that come in through fish. And the larger fish all have heavy metals, even your tunas, and that's why if you eat a lot of tuna out of a can, you will be building up a lot of heavy metals. So you have to be very mindful.
That's mercury, isn't it?
And one of them is mercury, yes. Yeah. So it's a well-known fact that, if you're going to be eating a lot of salmon or you're going to be eating a lot of tuna, you have to give your body a little detox to make sure that those heavy metals are not building up in your body, because eventually they will cause harm.
Right.
And the third thing is that raw vegetables, and especially because they are full of digestive enzymes. And digestive enzymes, of course, help to break down food better. And so, you get much, much more nutrition coming into your bloodstream. And the raw vegetables, so rather than cook everything, make sure that you're having at least 20% raw food, because that, again, is really helpful for detoxification. Teas, again, herbal teas are very good, because when you detoxify, what does it mean to have a detox? Now, I'm not talking about a major big detox. This is just a very small detox that you can do from, in the spring or in the summer. And the best time to detox is in the spring and summer, because the body comes out like it's almost like in the winter we go within and we try and conserve the energy. But in the spring and summer, because of the sunlight, everything opens up. So you want to start to detox then, because it's a lot easier. It's warmer, it's a lot easier, you perspire, and so most of the toxins will come out through skin too.
Yeah.
So that leads me to the next question.
Exfoliating.
Yes, so we need to do what's called skin brushing. So when you're in the shower, you take a brush or a loofah, and when you've done a little detox, make sure that you're getting all those toxins that have come out onto your skin, that you are buffing them off, getting rid of them. So skin brushing is very important, and it also helps with bringing blood to the surface, which means that you'll have better circulation, which means, of course, that's a healthier body. So
great.
I think that's just, like I said, just little things that you can do. Start eating a little bit more seaweed. Get some green grasses in, and you can buy them in tablet form or powder form. Now, I must warn you that the powder form, some of them are quite bitter, but if you're going to put them in a smoothie, for instance, which has perhaps a little bit of banana or some strawberries or berries, then it might even out. And if you have a protein powder, you can put that in. That's going to
pea protein. Pea protein?
Yeah, pea protein. Hemp protein is also very
fantastic.
Good. Pea protein.
Yeah.
I don't go for the whey, but if you don't mind having the protein from the cow, then yes, that's another way to go. But I would definitely prefer to have a vegetable protein. It's easier on the body. Another really important tip for detoxing the body, and it's something that's really simple, is a glass or a mug of warm water in the morning with a squeeze of lemon. First thing in the morning before you eat or drink anything, that helps to pretty much just wash away anything that's sitting around from the night before in your liver, and it's a great way to start the day. If you can't do it first thing in the morning, you can also have just a couple of glasses of water with a squeeze of lemon whenever you drink your water. That will work too. Lemon, why lemon? Because lemon alkalizes the body. Why alkalizing? Because when we are more alkalized, our bodies function more optimally, and also there are certain things like cancer cells, certain processes that don't and cannot multiply in an alkaline environment, as opposed to an acidic environment where you've had too much sugar. So that's one very simple tip. And if for the people that can't take lemon for whatever reason, if they're allergic to it, then go out and get yourself a bottle of apple cider vinegar. Make sure it is organic. And if you can get the one which says it has the mother in it, which is the original apple, then buy that. But it doesn't have to be that one. As long as it's organic, half a teaspoon in some water before a meal is really great for priming your acid in your stomach, which tells the stomach that you're going to ingest some food. So it primes the acid, it primes the enzymes in your gut, and therefore you have a better absorption rate and also a better breakdown of your meal.
About the tea, Kush, you mentioned tea. Is that so? When I think of teas, I think of dandelion tea, for instance.
Yes. So dandelion is one of my favorite teas. I get the dandelion tea. It's an organic tea. It comes in a jar or in tea bags, and you brew it, and it looks a little bit like coffee. You can have it with a bit of almond milk or some milk, or you can just have it as is.
Yes.
It's really good with 1/4 teaspoon of raw honey. It's a really good drink to have once a day because it's a very mild liver tonic.
Right.
So it will help the liver to detoxify, which is why dandelion is a really good herb to have in your pantry.
And what about mint? A variety of mints. You can peppermint's really good, isn't it?
Mint is a good digestive. I wouldn't say that it's a detoxifier, but it's great. It's a great digestive. Yeah. So if you've got it in the garden, you should just bring the tea, the mint in, put some hot water on it, and there's your mint tea. It's all ready to go.
Perfect.
And like I said, because we're talking about detoxification,
it's veering off subject a bit, isn't it?
Yes, and warm teas. You don't need to drink them that hot. When they're warm, what you're doing is actually moving as you detoxify, and the toxins are coming out of your cells. All you do is with the water. Of course, water is really important during detoxification. Without water, you're not going to move anything out. So you've got to be drinking a lot of water, and if you don't like to drink just water, in between that, you can have some herbal teas. And like I said, a dandelion tea once a day, you can get some really nice mixes with dandelion root and chicory. That's a really good combination. And one cup a day is just a really good tonic. That's the body part covered. So as we're just doing a very quick mini a talk on each one, I think that's enough, unless you have anything else to ask.
No, I think that's fine. Yeah, if we could move on to the mind, that'd be great. Thank you.
Okay, so when we talk about detoxification, just talking about what we eat and drink is not enough, because we are not just the body. So we have to take note about how we're thinking. Therefore, if you are eating the best diet you can, but your thoughts are not in the right place, i.e., you are stressing all the time, you're anxious all the time, or you are fearful, and your thoughts are just not in the right place, then you are actually putting more stress on your body. So today we're just going to talk about how do we detox for the mind. Well, first and foremost, you have to try and have some form of a ritual that you do daily. And it doesn't matter how you do it, you've got to have something in place, so that when you are in the place where you're not in your best form, or you're not thinking the best thoughts, because that happens to most of us, we can go from being in an elated state of mind to suddenly something happens, or we hear about something and we're down in the dumps. So how do we keep ourselves stable? So we have to have certain tools that we have that should come into place. Now, let me give you an example. When you are stressing about something, or something's happened, before that thought, so you have one thought. Let's talk about one thought. I don't know how I'm going to pay this bill, for instance. And you sit there and you think about this bill that you have to pay, and perhaps you don't have enough money right this minute, and you stress about it. And then that one thought, if you don't stop that thought in its tracks, within 5 to 10 minutes, that thought will have become 40 thoughts, and then 4,000 different variations of that thought. And it's going to take you to a place which is going to be much harder for you to come out of. So what do we do? Well, first of all, we say, okay, so I've got this bill. Yes, I'm worried. I don't have the money. I don't know how I'm going to pay for it. You've only got 5 or 10 minutes to actually think about the negative part of it. Then you've got to have a word that you put in place. For instance, stop. Okay, I've thought about this. If I worry about it, is this bill going to just disappear? What do you think? Is it going to disappear if you keep thinking about the same thing over and over again? Answer no, obviously not. So what do? So we have to find a word like stop or delete or something. Yeah. Something will work out. So when we put our focus and attention on something, whether it's positive or negative, we give it more energy, because we're energetic beings. And for most of us who know about manifesting and about how we attract things and how we make, how we create things for ourselves, this is just exactly how we do it. So this is something I was taught years ago. Bless your bills. So when the bill comes in, instead of saying, oh God, I've got to pay this gas bill, say to the bill, write on the bill, thank you. Thank you that I'm in a position to have this gas come into the home that keeps me warm, for instance. Instead of Oh my God, that's that dreaded bill again. Now, see, saying the first thing creates a different energetic pattern around your body. And
Most
saying the
definitely.
second thing makes another different pattern.
Yeah.
So if we stay with that energy, we are only going to create more of that, which means that you probably get a fine or something will come out, and then because all you've done is concentrate on how this thing is just not, it's doom and gloom.
Because you're moving on a low vibrational frequency,
exactly,
aren't you?
You're coming. You're
so you're manifesting
right.
that.
You're coming from fear, and fear has a very low resonance. Compared to, you might not be jumping up and down saying, I've got a $300 bill. You might actually say, well, thank you. At least I can afford to have this power coming in. And you reach out for the next step, which is hope, right? So you're not going to go elated that you've got the bill. Yeah, we understand that. But you can put it aside and say, well, something will come through. Now what you're doing is you put out this energy that's not from fear, but from hope, which is one step higher than, going further down, which is fear and then anxiety and then stress and depression.
Exactly.
So we've got to learn how to detox from our thoughts.
Absolutely.
Because if we sit there thinking about something, we create more of it. And I know from personal experience, and I see so many people in my practice that tell me that's absolutely right. When I thought about this, the more I thought about it, I got something else, and then I got something else in the same sort of thing. I got another fine, and then I got something else. And I said, well, you're putting your energy and your focus in that place. So then it's like we're all like a radio station. So when we dial in something positive, it's of a higher frequency. So we will attract more of that. Yeah. And if we dial in something lower, then that's where we're at, and that's the beacon that's coming out of our body.
What methods would you suggest then, in terms of some kind of therapy, in order to change that thought pattern?
First thing is to have some sort of a ritual, which means people talk about positive affirmations.
Yeah, affirmations. Yes.
So when you wake up in the morning, the first ritual you should be doing is saying how grateful you are for 3 things in your life. It doesn't matter what they are. It could be, thank you for giving me a warm bed to sleep in. Thank you for a roof over my head. And thank you for the water and the food I got to eat last night. Now, when we are grateful, again, the vibration of gratefulness brings a lot of abundance towards us, as opposed to waking up in the morning saying, oh God, it's 9 o'clock, I've got to go to that job and I can't stand my boss. Right. Yeah. Can you see the different energy that you have just created around you?
Massively.
And you walk into your job, and straight away you are in a confrontation with that boss.
Oh, it's the destructive, the pattern, that it will create.
But it's not the boss, it's what you've said and what's around you. And this energy we cannot see, but we can feel it. So first things first, with the mind, we've got to have a word that stops us in our tracks when we feel that we've thought enough about a negative thing and we've got to stop it. We've got to stop it. Yes. We've got to say to the mind, that the monkey mind that comes in and tells us the same thing over and over again, or the ego, stop. I don't want to talk about it. Something better is going to come along. Now, can you see the difference between something better is going to come along? You've already changed your vibration.
Absolutely.
Right. So that's something we must do every day. We must be grateful for something. And when
affirmation is imperative. That's what you're saying.
I think so. Anthony Robbins, the coach that most people know of, when he was no one, he said that he used to do incantations in his car as he drove to his first talk.
Yep.
And all he would say to himself is that he would say, thank you for giving me this car to get to my work. Thank you for the abundance that's coming in right this minute, even though he could not see it. Thank you for all these clients who are going to come and I'm going to work with them. It's that type of attitude when he had nothing got him from earning 36,000, I think he said, dollars a year to $1 million. And that was
Right.
just, and that's a real life story. You know, it's not something I made up.
No.
So changing the way we think, act, and feel changes our vibration. So how do we detox from negative thoughts? We don't give them more than 5 minutes. Yes, we understand that we all have issues every day, but you can change that around. And I think in the next talk, we will go a bit more into some exercises that we can do.
That'd be great.
You how to do.
That'd be really good.
But for this particular detox of the mind, I think limiting yourself to 5 to 10 minutes talking about the problem, and then changing your mindset to, well, what's the solution? Let's look for a solution instead of just talking about the problem. Because there must be some solution, and if you sit quietly enough, your soul will show you an answer.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something we can talk about in the next one when we talk about the mind.
Perfect. So wonderful information there, Kush. Could we have a bit on the spirit, please?
Yeah, so with our spirit, again, we are mind, body, spirit, and we're not one or the other. The three are always there. Yep. And as a naturopath, the way that I treat my clients is mind, body, and spirit. So if I was to just treat you for your headache and I didn't think about the thoughts that you're thinking every day, then I would have not done my job. And then, of course, the spirit or the soul, which is your guide. We all have our spirit that guides us from within. So how do we become more connected or more aligned to our spirit or our soul? It is when we quieten the mind, is when we get, we get all the instructions. Now, you might have a problem and your spirit will try and show you a way out of it, but you're so engrossed in your problem and worried about it that you will not quieten your mind, which is why you'll never even hear the answer. So what's really important about what I'm going to suggest is every single day when you wake up in the morning, or if you can't do it in the morning because it's just not the right time, then last thing at night, before you go to bed, you've got to sit up either in bed or in a chair or any time in the day. You have to set yourself at least, and this is a minimum, 10 minutes where you're going to sit quietly and just breathe. And the reason why I say breathe, and I mean breathe right from your abdomen, nice deep breath, and you just concentrate on your breathing. Just listen to yourself breathe in and out. What does that do? That actually takes your focus away from your chatter in your mind. And now you have to concentrate on something else, which is your breath. So it just takes you away from that chatter and you're just concentrating on something else. And yes, it's simple but it's one of the most cathartic thing you can do. Because as you breathe, you start to listen to your breathing and you slow down your heart rate. And you slow down your, the thoughts. Yeah. And then you can just listen for any answers that come through. So you can ask your higher self, I have this issue, I have this problem. Can you show me a solution for it? But don't demand it because the answer might not come straight away. But during your day or the next day, something will come through to show you might need to do this to get to here. And that's how synchronicities come along. It's when we take time to quieten our mind and sit in one place and just listen to what your spirit's trying to show you, because it has an answer to everything. It is your higher self. It already knows what you can and can't do, but it'll not just step in and do it for you. You have to ask. So some of the things that we can do is sit quietly for 10 minutes a day or more. And, if you can't sit for half an hour, it's not the end of the world. You can start with 10 minutes. 3 times a day when you get a chance. In your lunch break, you can go and sit in a park. So the next thing is connecting with nature. Really, really important. Because when your energy or your vital force around your body is low, just going out into a space which is nature, it just changes your energy. All that negative energy goes into the ground, into Mother Earth. So if you take your shoes off and you're in your socks or you're barefoot, you're grounding. What does grounding mean? Or earthing. This is something that our ancestors did all the time.
The soles of the feet, that's the soul, isn't it? The soul. It's connecting.
The soles are like antennas.
Yep.
That go into Mother Earth. And what will happen is that if you've got electromagnetic radiation around you, you've been around a computer or you've been around your phone for too long, and you've got a build-up of this, EMF, that will, once you ground, all that goes away. Secondly, if you've got negative energy around you, nature only has, the vibration of nature is the vibration of your source. So when you go out in nature and you sit against a tree or you touch a tree, you will see your energy change. Even just a walk out in the street, if you don't have a park near you, it doesn't matter. It's winter now. I know you're in winter, we're in our summer. But even if you just go for a walk down the street, and what do you do when you go down the street? Are you thinking about work the next day? Are you thinking about the chores you have to do? Walk mindfully. Tell yourself, if you saw a tree, what did the tree look like? Did you see any colors along the way? What did you notice? Are you in your mind, completely in your mind, or are you actually observing as you walk down the street? Did you notice anything? Did you see anything different? That's, again, working on that spirit part of you. Not being in the mind 90% of the time, but bringing that energy to embody the whole of you.
Your awareness of your complete surroundings.
Yes, and so that's why I teach mindfulness meditation, and it's one of the best things you can ever learn, because mindfulness is not just about mindfulness. Once you learn it, you use it in your everyday life. You start to become mindful of so many things that we just sometimes don't even see. Learning to connect with nature is the best way to vibrate much higher with your soul-like self.
So with music.
And the next thing, yes, in music, of course.
432 and 528, isn't it?
Yes, so 432 hertz. 432 hertz is the miracle tone. So look up either Spotify or somewhere and look up 432 hertz. There's so much music out there. Listen to that. That will put your vibration in that, like you say, the miracle tone. Even your cells will listen to that, and if they're not aligned, they will actually align, because the music is vibrational medicine. Today it is more and more in the limelight, and I believe that it's the way that we're going to go. So music will soothe you. It'll help you to take away the negative thoughts and perhaps bring you back in line. Some of the 432 sounds are just gongs of different frequencies that you listen to, and it's just balancing out your energy centers, your chakras.
And the 528 is the heart.
Is the love tone, isn't it?
Yeah, of the heart. Yeah.
Yes. And apparently these hertz also correlate with the Schumann resonance, which is why, the Schumann resonance is also in hertz, and that's why it affects us when it peaks, because we are vibrational beings. Absolutely. And therefore sound is really important. And Rife, there was a Dr. Rife who used sound technology. He had the technology, these machines that he put people on, which played a certain tone for a certain type of cell. So cancer cells had a tone which he knew when that was played to the body, that it actually destroyed certain cells in the body. So I mean that was really good sound healing.
Absolutely.
So with the spirit, it's spending a little time in nature, sitting quietly, grounding, finding some affirmations again. There's a really good book called You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. And in that book, at the back of the book, or in the book, she's got affirmations for different things like abundance. She's got an affirmation for abundance. You just photocopy the bit out of her book and stick it on the back of your door. And you'll say it maybe twice or three times a day. Now, subliminally, you will be recording that in your subconscious mind. So it's really upbeat. It's talking about how you can change something, and you'll start to listen to that more. Your subconscious is going to start to change the way it looks at situation. So there was a very famous quote that Dr. Wayne Dyer used to use, and he used to say things like, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So exactly, when you look
Effective.
at a bill, and it depends how you're going to look at it. But if you change the way you look at it, that thing might change.
Makes a lot of sense.
Good, something good will come along because you're putting out that it's okay, something will work out. For instance, even if that's the best you can say, it's still better than saying, oh my God, I've got this, I've got that, Yes, look, I'm not saying that things don't happen. It happens to the best of us. We've all been through some trials and tribulations, and we still have. But it's learning how to work with that energy. You can either be a victim and say, no, this is it. I don't think anything changes. This is how I am. Well, yes, that's resistance. Or you can use something that's been trialed and tested by thousands of people around the world who will tell you, if you know how to use the energy to work for you, then why wouldn't you?
Obviously, Nikola Tesla, energy, frequency, and vibration. It's in everything, isn't it?
Yes, and he says if you want to understand the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. That's what he says. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, he knew about that all that time ago. So he really did was the founder with regards to vibration.
Well, that's wonderful. I think we got lots of information there, Kush. It's a mini detox, wasn't it? So,
like we said, just a mini detox on the body, mind, and then spirit. So, yeah.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much.
That's okay.
Cheers.
Great to talk to you.
Thank you, and you. Bye.